Something is shifting inside the Minnesota Vikings facility, and it's a feeling every real fan can sense right now. We are standing at a massive crossroads where the future of this franchise hangs in the balance. There is a hidden pressure building behind closed doors that could change everything we know about our team's identity. If you are part of the Vikings faithful and you believe we are building toward a Super Bowl, you need to hear this. Like this video and subscribe to join the conversation, because what's happening with our quarterback room right now is absolutely critical. Skol Vikings. To understand where we are going, we have to look at the heart of this team. Brian O'Neill, a guy who has been the anchor of our line for years, recently opened up about the reality of JJ McCarthy. He said something that stopped everyone in their tracks. He claimed JJ had the locker room more than anyone he's ever seen. Think about that for a second. We're talking about a young kid who struggled through a brutal 2025 season. He threw 12 interceptions, his completion percentage wasn't where it needed to be, and the stats just didn't look like a top 10 pick. But here's the thing. While the outside world was ready to write him off, the men in that locker room were rallying behind him. O'Neill talked about how guys wanted to figure it out with him. They saw something the box score didn't show. Now, this is where it gets interesting, because we all remember that viral video of JJ taking the O-line to a wild game in a private suite. That wasn't just for show. That was a leader building a brotherhood. And honestly, it makes you wonder why the narrative is shifting so fast. We saw the inconsistencies and the injuries, but the veterans are standing up and saying, don't judge him yet. O'Neill even compared it to his own start, saying if he were judged on his first 10 games, he wouldn't be in the league today. That's a powerful statement from a leader. It suggests that inside the building, the faith in McCarthy is much deeper than the frustration we felt watching from the stands. But now, everything is complicated. The Vikings didn't just sit still this offseason. They went out and made a move that signals a massive change in philosophy. By bringing in Kyler Murray on a one-year deal, the front office has created a situation that is dripping with emotional tension. You have a locker room that loves JJ, but a new superstar talent walking through the doors who has played at an MVP level. It creates this incredible friction between the loyalty the players feel and the desperate need for immediate results. We are looking at a team that was 4-8 and managed to rattle off 5 straight wins, showing there is a spark here. But who is going to be the one to finally fan that flame? This is where we have to talk about the risk of losing the very culture Kevin O'Connell has worked so hard to build. When you have a veteran like Brian O'Neill coming out and saying the locker room loves JJ McCarthy, it tells you there is a specific chemistry at play. But now Kyler Murray is in the building. He's 29, he's experienced, and he's dynamic. On paper, it looks like a massive upgrade for a team that wants to win right now. But what does it do to the psyche of a young quarterback like JJ who is trying to find his footing? The uncertainty is thick right now. Kevin O'Connell is refusing to name a starter, which only adds to the suspense. Imagine being JJJ McCarthy, seeing the team you were drafted to lead bring in a former first overall pick to potentially take your spot. That kind of pressure can either forge a diamond or crush a player entirely. The roster impact here is huge because the offensive line has already bonded with JJ. They know how he moves, they know his heart, and they've spent their own money and time building that connection. Transitioning to Kyler Murray isn't just about learning a new cadence. It's about a total shift in energy. There is a real concern that if Kyler is handed the keys and things don't go perfectly, the locker room might start looking back at JJ with what-if questions. We are in a window where the Vikings have elite talent, but the quarterback position remains a revolving door since Kirk Cousins left. We've seen Darnold, Wentz, and Brosmer all take snaps. The lack of stability is exhausting for the fans and surely for the players. O'Neill's comments feel like a plea for patience, but the NFL is not a patient league. The pressure to win is mounting, and the future of the franchise depends on getting this decision right. If we move away from JJ too soon, do we risk losing a leader who truly has the respect of every man in that room? Or is Kyler the spark that finally takes this offense to the elite level we've been dreaming of? It's a gamble that could define the next 5 years of Vikings football forever. But this is where things change. This isn't just a training camp battle. It's a battle for the soul of the Minnesota Vikings. When Brian O'Neill says McCarthy had the locker room more than anyone he's ever seen, he isn't just being nice. He's issuing a warning. He's saying that JJ has the intangible qualities that you can't teach. You can teach a guy to read a defense, but you can't teach him to earn the undying respect of a veteran offensive line. And that's the biggest question facing this organization right now. Are we prioritizing the now so much that we are willing to sacrifice the forever? Because this could become something much bigger than just a depth chart change. If Kyler Murray starts and plays well, JJ McCarthy spends another year on the sidelines. For a young player who needs reps to fix those 2025 inconsistencies, that could be a death sentence for his development. On the flip side, if JJ starts and struggles again, the Super Bowl window for this current roster starts to slam shut. The pressure on Kevin O'Connell is astronomical. He has to balance the locker room's emotional investment in JJ with the reality of Kyler's talent. Every throw in practice, every interaction in the meeting rooms, it all carries so much weight. We are talking about the future of the franchise atmosphere, where one wrong move sends us back into a rebuilding phase we aren't prepared for. The emotional looping of this situation is intense. We want JJ to be the guy because the team loves him. We want Kyler to be the guy because he can win games today. It's a tug of war between loyalty and ambition. And honestly, it feels like something big is happening behind the scenes that we aren't fully seeing yet. Is there a plan to eventually trade one of them? Is there a package for both? The suspense is killing the fan base because we know how close this team is. We have the weapons, we have the line, and we have the coaching. All we need is the right hand on the steering wheel. But if the locker room is already sold on JJ, will they truly follow Kyler Murray if things get tough? That is the hidden implication that should keep every Vikings fan up at night. I'm going to be honest with you all. This actually worries me a little bit. I love that Brian O'Neill is standing up for JJ McCarthy. It shows the kind of culture we have in Minnesota. It shows that our veterans aren't just looking for a paycheck. They care about the guys they're playing with. But this situation with Kyler Murray feels like a powder keg. I really like the move to bring in talent, don't get me wrong. Kyler is a playmaker. But I think fans should pay attention to how this affects the chemistry. If I'm JJ McCarthy, I'm looking at these comments from O'Neill and feeling a sense of pride, but also a sense of I have to prove them right. I think we should be cautiously optimistic because having two talented quarterbacks is better than having none. However, there is a part of me that fears we are creating a divided house. I really hope Kevin O'Connell has a master plan here. This could be incredible if Kyler pushes JJ to a new level and we have a deep playoff run. Or this could become a problem if the locker room starts feeling like the front office doesn't value the guy they believe in. I think the whole attitude of how do we go there as an offense together is the right approach, but it's easier said than done when there's only one ball. I want to believe that JJ is the future. I want to believe O'Neill when he says the kid is still fresh and will get better. But in this league, you don't get many chances to be fresh. You have to perform. The fact that the locker room is this vocal about their support for McCarthy tells me there's a lot more to him than those 2025 stats. It makes me want to root for him even harder. But at the same time, we can't ignore Kyler's pedigree. He's been great so far, introducing himself to the linemen and being a pro. It's a fascinating dynamic. It's that classic Vikings drama that we're all too familiar with, but this time, the stakes feel higher than ever. We are either watching the birth of a legend or the beginning of a very messy transition for this franchise. The story of the Minnesota Vikings 2026 season is already being written, and the ink is still wet. We have a veteran leader in Brian O'Neill making it very clear where the heart of the locker room lies. We have a young quarterback in JJ McCarthy who has the respect of his peers but the weight of a difficult season on his shoulders. And we have a newcomer in Kyler Murray who represents the ultimate wild card for this franchise's immediate future. The tension is far from resolved. In fact, it feels like it's only beginning to boil. Every practice session, every preseason snap, and every word from Kevin O'Connell is going to be scrutinized under a microscope. Will the locker room's loyalty to JJ be rewarded? Or will the talent of Kyler Murray lead us to a new era? The future is uncertain, and that's exactly what makes being a Vikings fan so emotional right now. Something bigger is still coming. We are waiting for that one moment, that one decision that will define this decade of football in Minnesota. I want to hear from the real fans, the ones who have been through the highs and lows. Do you stand with JJ because of the locker room bond? Or do you want to see what Kyler can do? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe to stay updated on this unfolding drama. Skol Vikings. One team, one goal. The journey continues. Stay ready.